Hello and welcome to another vlog from Costa Rica. And yeah, last video I showed you some waterfalls. This time we're here in Monteverde and I'm trying to photograph some cloud forests, which you see out here, Santa Elena Cloud Forest Reserve, which is awesome. So you see every tree has this thick moss, looks a bit like the whole rainforest. Only problem is there are no clouds, no low clouds today. So there's not much of the atmosphere I want for my photos because it's just chaos wherever you look. So it's very hard to compose a photo. And in addition to that, it's also very windy. So I've been told if you come to Costa Rica or to Monteverde between December and maybe April, it's very windy. And yeah, we've experienced this the past few days. So it's usually throughout the night, it's very heavy winds, which comes down a bit in the day, but it's still there. So for photographing such forests, it's not so easy. So I have to up the ISO, and also it's not very productive for fog because if there's wind, it usually blows the clouds through here very fast and you don't get this atmosphere like I had, for example, in Fanal a few months ago, where it was just thick, persistent fog. But yeah, I'm still trying. So that's the first scouting walk here through the forest. And yeah, I'm gonna return tomorrow morning most likely, because in the mornings there's usually more clouds. So the clouds are much lower. We've been here a few days and I look out of the window always in the morning. Those hills where I'm at now are shrouded in clouds. So hopefully the same tomorrow. And yeah, then I might take some photos. And also the lower I go, so up there on the peak was just too windy, but if I go a bit lower, for example here, it's a bit shaded from the wind, so wind's usually blowing from one direction. So if I go to the other side of the hill, this should also work. So this is what I'm doing now, the scouting, figuring out where I can take photos where it's not so much wind. Also the last days, when are the clouds low enough, because you have to make those visits here count, because everything costs an entrance fee. So this cloud forest is $16 and there are others which are even more expensive. So yeah, you can't come here so many times. But just look at this pathway, looks just awesome. And just imagine a bit of fog or deep clouds there. Oh, this would be magical. So hopefully I get this tomorrow, but for now, just check another trail. So which way to go? I think I have to look at the map, but for now just show you a bit more here, and hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna take some photos. So it's now the next day and we're back here in the Cloud Forest Reserve of Santa Elena. And as you can see, I don't have fog, but it's raining, so there is a bit of atmosphere in the air. But I have to tell you, it's pretty hard still to find a composition. So we walked all the trails in total, I think 10 kilometers or more. And I was always on the lookout for possible compositions. And the forest here is very thick. So on the trails, it's fine to walk, but as soon as you look to the left or right, there's just thick vegetation most of the time. So I've now come back to a scene which I found yesterday already. I also photographed it yesterday with soft light in the background. Now I thought I'd give it a try in those overcast conditions, and I want to quickly talk about it. So looking at it now, as at first sight, it's chaos, but there is some order which I tried to compose here. So I have this tree here, thick moss on it, and then similar tree in the back also with moss. And I have some features which I wanted to have in the photo. So for example, this fern which is growing up, or I'm not sure if it's a fern, some other kind of plant, but it's quite typical. It still has one leaf which is half rolled up. Then we have ferns down there, yeah, a lot of greenery, and that's kind of everything you find here. And yeah, that's why I wanted to take a photo of this. Also, what's good here, which makes it easier to compose, there's a slope, so I don't have to deal with bright areas from the sky, and also the depth is reduced. So back there it's dark, and there's not more trees and more trees and more trees, which would be very hard to compose without any fog. But here it's okay, so I can still create depth by including this tree and the tree in the back, even without fog. But yeah, that's how it looks here, what I have to make work somehow. And I mean, just looking at it, it looks beautiful wherever you look. It's just awesome. But as so often, putting this into a photo, not that simple. So hopefully this turns out nice. Will be a bit of a nightmare to focus stack, because I have to use focus stacking. I'm at 30 millimeters, so a bit zoomed in to exclude some elements which I don't want in the frame. So even at f9.5 I have to do focus stacking, also at ISO 400 to reduce any movement. But currently wind's gone, so that's nice. Previously I was at another composition where it was just blowing, so I'm not sure if this worked out. If it worked, then I'll also show you this photo, but for now, yeah, that's Monteverde wrapped up. I think tomorrow we're gonna move on to another area with cloud forests, so maybe I'm more lucky there and find some more accessible compositions. But here it was a bit of a struggle, especially also because of the wind. So let's see how this photo looks on the big screen now.